日本時間17日、MLB 公式サイトがシーズン最初の打者パワーランキングを発表しました。ドジャースの大谷翔平投手が開幕前のランキングに続き、堂々の1位に輝いています。前日の本拠地でのメッツ戦では先発登板して今季2勝目を挙げ、5年ぶりに投手に専念したマウンドで、6回10奪三振1失点と好投。ドジャースのチームメイトからも投手大谷への賛辞の言葉が相次ぎ、ラッシング選手は大谷の投球について、もう言葉が出ないぐらい素晴らしい。マウンド上で全ての視線を一身に浴びている姿を見るのはクールだった。もともとリーグ最高の投手の一人だけど、投球だけに専念した時は間違いなく最高レベルだ、と大絶賛していました。また、一夜明けたアメリカ現地放送では、投打で異次元の活躍を見せる大谷を様々な野球番組が取り上げ、投手大谷について熱く議論が繰り広げられていましたので、その模様を日本語字幕付きでご紹介します。
Nays was just telling me in my ear, by the way, here's a look at Ohtani, who reportedly now focused. He wants to get into that Cy Young race, and why not? Look at the ERA leader since the start of last season. But real quick, the Mets have a day off today, then they go to Chicago. What kind of road trip is this?
From where?
From hell.
From Beelzebub.
I mean,
they better lock it in.
Yeah, because the Cubs just took a series from the Phillies, but
Ohtani. MJ Melendez gets them on the board, and then the next four fastballs was like 101. 101.
He made him angry.
Shame on me. Joe Davis said something a couple of weeks ago that kind of stuck out, because I don't view Shohei Ohtani. I view Shohei Ohtani the offensive player. I do.
Wait.
I don't view him first as a pitcher. And Joe Davis said that his bread is buttered, like he sees himself as a pitcher first, hitter second.
Wow.
I would blur those lines, like as a fan watching the game. But you can't deny last night Dave Roberts got him off his feet from an offensive standpoint and allowed him to just strictly focus on pitching. The stuff that's coming out of this guy's right arm is just, it's legendary. And the ability to spin the ball was kind of like wiffle ball properties. Look at these pitches to Luis Robert. Three different ways to take you apart, right? 7 different pitches, all different quadrants, 98 to 100 on his four-seam fastball, the ability to spin it, the split, the at-bat to Bo Bichette after he punches out Brett Beatty on this backdoor curveball. Whoop, there it goes. Now he gets Bichette. If anybody remembers going back to Game 7,
that's right.
Bichette shot him on a slider that kind of spun the zone. That was 89. This one was 82. But you could tell Bichette was on it. It's the same pitch. So he gets him down 0-2. And Ohtani pulls back and throws when we get back into it last night. Watch this split finger fastball. Watch the movement. I mean, that almost broke Will Smith's thumb, the way he had to catch that. So he's a top 5 pitcher on the mound, even though I don't give him enough props for the pitching because I love watching him mutilate baseballs the other way. But the numbers support it. ERA, he's first. Expected ERA, he's second.
And here's
he wants
one more.
A Cy Young. He's motivated by it.
So when Francisco Alvarez drew a walk to start the 5th, it was the first time Ohtani had walked the leadoff man since joining the Dodgers.
And Shohei Ohtani on the mound yesterday for the Dodgers, and he didn't hit. Did it make him a better pitcher? Take a listen.
2 outs, bases empty. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Shohei Ohtani strikes out the side in the 6th. He's up to 10 punch-outs in 6 strong, keeping the Dodgers ahead 2-1.
He's just got such good feel. And even his curveball wasn't great tonight as far as acquiring strikes, but the fastball was lifey, and, you know, the sweeper, the split, you know, use that when he needed to. And so, yeah, just his ability to have the feel and, you know, the velocity is pretty remarkable.
It just added a little bit more intensity after they scored a run, but overall it felt really nice and easy and loose throughout the whole outing, so I think that's the reason why I threw a little harder.
You heard sound there from Dave Roberts talking about how lifey Shohei Ohtani was yesterday. That means that extra giddy up on his stuff, that extra movement late as it's coming home. Will Ireton also translating for Shohei Ohtani, talking about his fastball. And the example of lifey, Steve, after MJ Melendez had drove in the RBI in the middle of the game, Shohei got stronger. Like, when you talk about bringing that extra velo, 100 miles an hour, bringing it out in the sixth inning, impressive what he was able to do. Hit 100.2 and then 100.3 against Tommy Pham, right? Just blowing it by him. And then Lindor comes up. You get 100.1, 100.4 off of Francisco. And Francisco just has to smile after that point because you saw some extra velo come out. And I think that's the difference with Shohei. And some of these guys, like I think about Tarek Skubal, right? Guys that have it don't need to necessarily always use it, but when they need to, late in the game, they can go get it. I thought that was impressive yesterday. You're seeing some of the numbers on the four seam, got 13 whiffs and 30 swings on that pitch. It was his bread and butter, but what is most impressive is his ability to go 100-mile-an-hour fastball, then 70 with the curveball. So a 30-mile-an-hour difference as a hitter, Steve, that's the most difficult thing to prepare for because I want to be on time with 100, so I've got to get ready early. But then if I have to hold myself in a position to where I'm sitting trying to wait for 30-mile-an-hour difference, that's where I get off balance. And that's what he used to his advantage yesterday, dropping that curveball in at the right time. Dominant yesterday for Shohei.
Yeah, he ended up striking out the side in the sixth inning to get through the 10 strikeouts. And the first one was with the fastball, the strikeout. The second one with the split at 88 miles per hour, and then the curveball at 71.5. You know, and as a hitter, to be able to cover a 30-mile-per-hour differential with pitches that are moving with that kind of bite is very difficult to do, which is why the numbers indicate that. He gave up his first run at 32 2/3 innings pitch going back into last year. And he did not hit yesterday, and it's the first time since, 2021, I think, where he's pitched in a game and not been in the lineup as a hitter. And, you know, the Ohtani rule allows him to hit as a DH, pitch in the game, and then when he comes out of pitching, he can stay in as a DH. And they did not utilize that yesterday. And, oh, by the way, the guy that they did put in that spot, Dalton Rushing, he hit a grand slam. Like, come on, man. Can we not have Ohtani pitch one time or not hit when he's pitching, and then the guy he gets replaced with ends up hitting a grand slam? Now, where's the justice in that? Like, you think you're catching a break until you realize maybe they had the right guy in the lineup right there. Is Dalton Rushing going big fly with the bases loaded? I mean, that's just luxury, right? The backup
It's just
catcher,
the luxury of being the Dodgers. See, like, and it wasn't just Rushing. Hee-Sung Kim also went deep in this one in the bottom of the second inning. So when you don't have certain guys available, it just seems like the depth of the Dodgers continue to crush other teams.
I want to shift gears just to Ohtani last night. I liked that he made a choice and said, I'm not going to hit. I'm a little banged up. I'm going to focus on this. He's an all-time great with what he does, but he looks like he is a pitcher first this year.
Honestly, BK, what I saw last night, I would encourage him to not hit at all when he starts the rest of the year. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, the one thing you want to do with Ohtani more than anything else, you want to keep him healthy. Between now and the end of October, you want him healthy in whatever capacity you possibly can.
Right.
He just looked, not that he hasn't been dominant in other starts, he looked different to me last night. You know, maybe it was not factual based, that's an opinion based, but he looked fresher. I thought his delivery was cleaner. I thought the effort his delivery was cleaner. Thought his late action on his pitches was better. Everything about his craft last night, I thought, took another step. And if that's the step and you can hit Dalton Rushing and get him some at-bats in the DH role, because the guy is raking, I think it keeps your roster more in check and it keeps him more healthy through the course of a long season.
Right. He pulled the string I saw on one pitch, was it 72? You go from high 90s to like 72, and he was hitting gears in between, too.
Seeing him pull 7 pitches out the arsenal, you're talking about a 72-mile-an-hour curveball, an 80-mile-an-hour curveball, an elevated heater at 100 miles an hour.
Split
finger to Bichette was one of the nastiest pitches that I've seen all season. I would love to see him continue to do both. I think all of this is going to always come down to Ohtani. He's the one who has to make the decision. I don't know how much the hit by pitch.
I'm just saying, only on the day he pitches, Chris.
No. I completely understand what you're saying, Dan. And I don't know how much the hit by pitch was the determining factor of him going out there and not hitting there. If that was the case, he's going to make the decision. Granted, he didn't give up a run even when he was hitting the first couple starts that he had this season. I will completely agree. The stuff did look different. And I recognize the stuff looked different. And if Dalton Rushing is going to do that while he's on the bench, then that plays. If Dalton Rushing went out and go 0 for 4, then is this conversation the same? It's the fact that the Dodgers have so much depth and so many guys that they can use in big spots. It seems like, it's an embarrassment of riches at this point. But if you have guys on the bench who can do what Rushing did yesterday, then it's an easy
decision. And it's the only team in the game that can't use their DH as a rest spot for everyday players that may need to get off their feet and hit but not play a position.
Well, Freddie Freeman could use that. Mookie Betts could use that when he comes back. Teoscar Hernandez, you have a lot of guys who can use that.